We're at one of our projects just outside of Charleston. It was supposed to be a wholetail project, but didn't really work out as planned. Let's go inside and talk about it. We're standing here on our most recent wholetail. If you're not sure what a wholetail is, it's where you purchase a property, you do very little to no work on the property, and then you just turn it right back to market. Now, this is supposed to be something that's fairly quick and easy. So I made several mistakes on this. I'm gonna go through my top 3 mistakes that makes me think this is a whole fail. The first mistake that I made on this was going outside of our buying criteria. Typically, we like to stay at no more than 75% of the after repair value of a house minus repairs. And really we'll only go that high if there's a lot of room in margins, and we've been super conservative on that after repair value. The area where this home is, we've actually never bought and sold a home in, so we're not as familiar with it. It's on the outskirts of Charleston, and the market reacts very differently here than it would in some of our popular areas in Charleston where we like to invest. Mistake number 2 that I made on this property is I actually never set eyes on this in person, and I didn't have a qualified enough person to come and put eyes on the project to really give a good assessment of what needed to be done here. I had somebody come out here and made it sound like the home was in really good condition as far as the paint, the floors, everything, that maybe we might need to replace the roof, but everything else was in excellent shape. But it definitely was a misstep on my part, not having eyes on it myself or sending somebody who I feel very confident in looking and assessing the property to know, do we need to do more work than we thought we did while we were in our due diligence period? Now, we did get an inspection, and that was very helpful for us. We had already figured that there might be a chance that we might have to replace a roof. And so we were okay with that, with the margins. And again, this took us a little bit out of the ARV that we typically do, but it's something that I felt good enough about and move forward with it, even after seeing that in the inspection that we did need to replace the roof. However, on an inspection, they're not gonna tell you that the floors need to be refinished or really the paint is dingy and dirty and it needs a fresh coat if you're gonna try to attract the right people. That was definitely a big fail of mine. I should have came here in the due diligence period, or really just sent somebody that I truly trust out here to give a good, fair assessment of the property. And we started to toe the line on this project of a renovation versus just a clean and list back to market. I'm gonna show you where my main problem child of this whole project has been. Let's go check out the kitchen. So here we are in the kitchen, and this really ended up creating more of a headache for me than I had ever anticipated on this particular project. And what happened is we had our normal first inspection. However, we let the homeowners stay in the home, which I don't mind doing. I came in, I did a visual inspection, everything looked like in good working order. And I actually truly believe that the people that lived here had no bad intentions of not telling me about this. However, at some point between when we got our first inspection and when the homeowners left, the kitchen sink had started leaking and destroying the wall and the cabinets behind it. So this now is a problem because these are older cabinets. We had no intention of renovating this kitchen. However, we needed to do something about the cabinets. In addition, what I didn't realize is one of the upper cabinets, they had just kind of cut in half to make the refrigerator fit, and it wasn't really a true cabinet. And the people that were buying it, they just weren't having it. So we really had to get creative here in order to just make everybody happy and get this project off our board. So we ended up agreeing with them to redo the entire kitchen. And let me tell you, if I had just done the kitchen initially in the beginning, it would have been a lot easier. I could have just leaned on my contractors or anybody else to say, all right, we're just gonna get this kitchen in, same basic layout, throw some cabinets in, let's make it look nice. And they would have done their thing and it would have been a gorgeous kitchen and we would have turned it to market and nobody would have thought anything different. However, these new buyers had plans of their own and they were very specific about what they wanted in this kitchen. So now I, in a sense, became somebody who is not helping them, but working with their design choices. This has really made this project very time intensive. In addition, we're renovating a whole kitchen on a wholetail, and this wasn't the plan. The good thing is we have amazing agents on this project, and they did negotiate with the seller's agent because they had also initially asked for a pretty big discount on the property, which we agreed to, that they would need to pay for the kitchen renovation, but we would make sure it got done. So in the end, we're putting way more work, time, and energy into this project than we had anticipated. And for me, that truly is the biggest fail on what was supposed to be a wholetail, but it's real estate. Nothing goes as planned. So I don't know. I think if everything from here on out goes correctly, once we finalize our numbers, we'll probably make around $5,000 on this project. We had initially thought that we were gonna make $30,000 to $40,000 on this wholetail, and it was gonna be a pretty easy turn back to market, and it hasn't been. Do you think that this is a whole fail? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And if you also have any questions about a wholetail and what that looks like, let me know. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and follow us for more content just like this.